Okay, so I wanted to start by just maybe having you introduce yourself, your name and where you work and what you do.
Sure. Jose Sublasky. I'm a real estate agent with Remax Blue Line.
And how long have you been with the company?
I've been with the company about 7.5 years now.
Okay. And what made you come here?
Prior to coming into real estate, I was a restaurant manager for about 20 years, wanted a career change, and wanted to do something different instead of doing restaurants, and wanted to grow on a different path. And didn't know nothing about real estate, and knew that he was the right person, meaning Mike, and came along, and sure enough now, 7.5 years later, I'm doing well in the real estate industry.
So would you describe what's happened with your income? I mean, are you six-figure producer in income, or are you struggling, or where are you at?
I would probably say initially when I first started in real estate, yeah, I was pretty scared, just not knowing the real estate industry. But looking at Mike and knowing his knowledge and what he's done in the past and so forth, I decided it was the right place at the right time, and couldn't be a better person to learn from. And stuck with him for the first 2.5, 3 years, learning everything I could about real estate, sitting back, listening to him talk to clients himself, and then almost 2.5, 3 years after the fact, branched out on my own, as an agent with the company, and first started out with probably $22,000 to $30,000 a year the first maybe 1 to 2, well, the first 2 to 3 years. But going into the third year, started getting close to six figures, and then after the fourth year, six figures, and been doing six figures for the last 3.5 years, maybe almost 4 years, and been doing well.
Now, the first couple of years when you said you were, around the 30 range, that was in the, correct me if I'm wrong, the economic downturn where real estate was upside down?
That is correct. That was the worst time probably since recorded history, since the Great Depression. Things were not well at all. There was many houses out on the market, and we continued to strive. He continued to strive and obviously move forward with the company and grow during that time that, there was many other companies closing and we weren't, meaning Mike and Remax Blue Line, and growing from that point.
So once you got out of that time where the economic downturn was kind of turning around, consistently, have you been six figures?
Yes, six figures. As soon as that turned around and the market started turning, less homes out in inventory and so forth, then we started doing six-figure incomes as far as me and the company, started growing. I mean, we went from having a little office, with probably a 500 square foot office to having, office that's over 1,000 square feet to having now 3 offices, which is Brentwood and Clayton and Antioch. And us being able to work out of all 3 offices, which is ideal throughout the whole county. And, each office is big and supports us as far as, with the support on hand and also Mike itself.
So do you participate in the office training program?
I do. The office training program consists of, if not every other week, every week, even if it's the same training program, which it differentiates a lot as far as, the training that he does and the office does and what he brings in and so forth. I highly recommend. Me personally, I come to every training, even if it's the same training that I've done 6 months ago, a year and a half, or 3 years ago. Every single week I do training, and it builds my business, because every time I come to training, it helps me grow the business that I do, day in and day out.
Now, none of the training's ever been required for the agents to come to, but you volunteer to come to all of them?
That's correct. None of the training is mandatory to say you have to be here. But for anybody not to come to training and further their career and their path and their knowledge and so forth, and not only that, the actual person, which, Mike is a great teacher, very knowledgeable, very strong in the industry, and if he doesn't know, he will find out. I mean, you couldn't work for a better company or a better broker in whole.
So anything you want to add just in closing here, as far as if somebody was thinking about coming over and joining our team here, what are your thoughts with that?
The biggest thing on that is, I would say, and not just for me saying it, but I can tell you this, from the people that have came to grow here just like me, I would strongly recommend to come and work, not just for Mike, but actually the company. He has a great staff support. I mean, it is the only way, in my opinion, and I've seen different companies throughout the area, different things that happen, and there's not a stronger company throughout the Bay Area, meaning Contra Costa, probably Alameda, whatever the case is on this side, that I've run across to not come and work for. It's your ideal company to work for.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this, and thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it.